Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of April 5th through the 11th. And during that time, we start off with the waning crescent energy, and that's a time of stability and calm, a time for us to buckle down and work on things that we've been working on. But it's also a time for us to start that self reflection. We're thinking about, are the things that we're working on right now, are they working? We've made some adjustments and hopefully things are working out for you. We then move into the last quarter moon, and that is a time of just really things coming to fruition. You've been working on these things. We're starting to reflect to think, are there tweaks and changes that we might want to make when it comes to the new moon time? So we're definitely going to be getting rid of negative emotions and negativity and just being really positive and really watching those things come to fruition, those projects that we started at the beginning of the cycle. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter. So, as always, Taurus, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is a win-win outcome is forecast. And that's always a good for everyone, right? When everybody wins. That's the best way to be all the time. My fun weekly reminder for you, Taurus, is that you notice the synchronicities that are happening around you this week. So, and just to be very brief today about this, but watch for those synchronicities. This could be repeating number patterns. Look up those angel numbers. I mean, I found that to be something that is very interesting in my life. I mean, they can happen instantly where I get a message about something, I see an angel number, and I look it up and it's like, wow, that was very relevant to what I was just doing. It's just interesting how quickly synchronistic those things can be. This could be an animal, this could be a conversation, a song you hear, but pay attention to those synchronicities in your life and then try to find the reason that that is in front of you. Look around in your own life, figure out how you can apply that. So, all right, let's get into this reading. Taurus, April 5th through the 11th. A win-win outcome is forecast. And your present energy right now is 10 of Cups. Love this card. Just saw it in the Aries reading. So, this is just being happy. This is a happy life, happy family. Just things are good. Just things around you. If a win-win forecast, that's everybody winning right there. So love that energy for you. Your current situation right now is the Three of Swords. So this can also be some sort of mental, I know this goes through a heart. Of course, I have to say kind of just heartbreak that there's something that maybe that didn't work out. But I also think, this can be just your mind. Like you had your mind set on something and it just hasn't worked out the way you wanted it to. So we just kind of dust ourselves off and get up and move on and work it out. But, this is maybe a cloudy day at some point in your week that there's something and I feel like, what is trumping this? Is this happiness able to trump this disappointment? Probably. I mean, this card looks so much more happy than the rainy day that you might have here, but this could just be some brief disappointment that you get during the week. At the root of your situation is the Six of Wands here, which is about a little bit of kind of a celebration of you, a little pat on your back going around. So, this could be that's going on and that's at the root of the situation. Maybe, and as an example, maybe you're like, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I got this pat on the back, except that one person, so that one person that you needed to pat you on your back. And that's like, oh, that's a little disappointment, right? That's a little rain on your literal parade. So that could be what that signifies, is something just as simple as that. That it's just a moment where you're a little disappointed. It doesn't have to take over your whole week. What is in your recent past here is of your financial stability and just general stability there with the Four of Pentacles. So you're coming into this whole thing feeling pretty stable about your position. And I would say, if this is about your family, that's stability there. Even if this ends up being something about work, which it can be, tarot is an energy template. So it can template over different situations for different Tauruses. So, if you're feeling very stable at work and you're happy and you're being celebrated, and maybe there's just that one little disappointing thing, right? Or like I said, it's just kind of a little rain on your parade. What is on your mind this week is all of the choices that you have. And I always say choice is a luxury. If you have the luxury of the kind of choice that that person has. That's 7 choices to be made. So, and I think here is just make sure you're choosing wisely and make sure that you know the reason behind the choices that you're making. Don't just blindly make choices. Make choices for given for a reason, right? So, whatever the situation, again, like if it's a work situation, you have choices that you have to make there. Make sure that you're thinking about those deeply enough to be able to make those choices. Because again, if choice is a luxury, don't take it for granted. If you have the ability in your life to make choices when it comes to a lot of different things, think back to a time when your choices were limited. And you'll see what I mean by that being a luxury. It's like the wider the world gets, the bigger your choices and the better your choices. The fact that you can even have many things to choose from is a luxury. So choose wisely is my advice there. What is just ahead of you this week is the Two of Swords. So maybe in this choosing, there is some kind of decision that you do need to think through. And this is exactly what this card is about. It's just blindly, closing your eyes and thinking, what is the choice and you have to really think through. Sometimes, that blindfold can be indicative of just closing the world off so that you can think, right? So sometimes that's meditation, just some quiet time. Sometimes it's pen to paper, pros and cons. I'm real big on doing that when I'm making a decision. So what is it that you're thinking over? And that's ahead of you this week is to not really make a decision until you fully think things through. So think about that. In your advice position, Taurus, another two with the Two of Pentacles. So the advice is to go ahead and work at this thing, make and let that decision come through, but keep everything in the air while you're doing it. Don't stop your life to do this. You kind of have to keep things going, right? And that might be a lesson for you. It might be, look, you get this disappointment and now you have these decisions to make and these things that are going on. Your life doesn't get to stop because of that. You have to you have to kind of push through. And maybe that's a lesson and something that you're learning how to do. I will say also when it comes to synchronicities that now we do have two twos on the table. So look up angel number 22, see if it has any bearing on your current situation right now. What is beyond your control this week is the Seven of Pentacles. And once again, with the synchronicities, now we've got 2 sevens. So you can look those up too. But beyond your control is that you're just kind of waiting for a harvest. You're waiting on seeds that you have planted earlier. And again, are these financial seeds? Maybe is it other things that are going on? You're kind of waiting for things to come in that you've earlier been working on. And it's just beyond your control. Sometimes you just have to wait. Sometimes things, good things come to those who wait. Let things come to fruition, be it financial or otherwise. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Is the Queen of Pentacles. Well, I hope that's your secret desire because she is a really good energy of understanding her suit and not only understanding it for herself, which in this case would be the material world. This is anything that has to do with your money. Like you understand your finances, you understand your home life and the flow of things and, how to keep things organized and how to do that, or you're trying to avoid all of that. You have to ask yourself that question. But I do hope that's the energy that you're trying to be in because it's a really good energy of just managing your day-to-day material world. So keep that in mind. Again, it's either your secret desire or you're trying to avoid it. Again, if you're making a decision, keep your flow going, right? Don't let your whole life stop because you have to stop and make some choice and you're just for 3 days you're going to sit in your room and think about it and not do anything. You can't do that. You have to keep going. There's other things going on. In your outcome, Taurus, is the Page of Wands. So there you are, nurturing something that you love, nurturing some new passion, some new thing that may come out of this. And it's probably whatever this decision, the result of this choice that you've made. And I think you're going to love it in the end. Again, take the time to make that decision and work on it, but the rest of your life has to keep going as well. I mean, I'm seeing quite a few pentacles here in your reading. Wands, we've got a good kind of spread. The only emotion I'm really seeing that you've put into this is starting off here with your 10 of Cups. So, you're generally happy right now. And again, whatever this is that's causing this decision, it's kind of thrown you off a little bit. Don't let it throw your entire life off. What is hidden from you here at the bottom of the deck is the Empress card. So the Empress is about long-term creativity. This can be a card of pregnancy, but it's also a card of, pregnancy in the way of decisions that stretch out over time. And I don't see any big decisions like that for you this week. So this isn't a huge long-term decision. Whatever this is, it's kind of a short-term thing. It isn't something that's going to um, affect things for years to come, is what I'm saying. So, all right, let's get a final word here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Taurus as they're trying to make a choice here and a decision. But yeah, a couple angel numbers, 7, 7, and 2, 2. So look those up. All right, but a win-win outcome is forecast. So it looks like everybody's going to win, whatever your decision is. Okay, Soul Oracle deck says to choose friends wisely. Okay. Maybe that has something to do with what is going on here. Is there some disappointment? Like I said, this is a template. So think about all of this maybe in the terms of your friendships. Maybe there's something going on there that is a decision that needs to be made, but a win-win outcome is forecast. Let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care, Taurus. Self-care for Taurus, April 5 through 11. Okay, and the card that you get is the card called Focus. Oh, well, there you are making your list. If you focus on what you don't want, there's a good chance you might get it. Focus on what you do want instead. So that's that, focusing on that negativity just brings it to us, right? You have to kind of focus on the positive, and sometimes that can be hard to do. I mean, I tend to be a very positive person, but I know people around that, I know it annoys people because people are, how can you be so positive? Blah, blah, blah. But sometimes you just have to try to do that. Just push through and be as positive as you can. Even if you're annoying people around you, they'll get over it, I'm sure, positively. So anyway, Taurus, thank you so much for being here. Good luck with all of this. It looks like you do have some decisions ahead of you. Make sure you're choosing wisely. Make sure that you're choosing your friends wisely also. And just try to keep things on a positive thing. Don't let whatever this one rainy cloud, I mean, the rest of your reading is so bright. I feel like this one cloudy, rainy day, don't let it wreck everything. It's just a minute, just a moment in time. Make the appropriate decision and let's move on. So, thanks again for being here. I do hope there's something in this reading that you can use in a positive way in your life this week. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below and let me know if there's anything here that resonated, or if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer those as well. And if you like my reading style, hitting the like and subscribe button is something that I really appreciate. So thank you in advance for doing that. And Taurus, good luck with this. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.